Hi, I'm Jason Perry, the Managing Director here at ASL. I thought it might be useful to share with a number of our clients a little bit more information on how the replacement to furlough is going to work. Many of our clients have been using the furlough scheme since March when it was brought in as part of the COVID response plan by the government. And as we know, at the end of this month, the furlough scheme comes to an end. A few weeks ago, Rishi Sunak announced a replacement to furlough that comes in from the 1st of November. So what I want to do is tell you a couple of key points about how that works that I think might be useful to you. The first thing you need to know about the job support scheme is that from the 1st of November, anyone on the JSS scheme must work a certain number of hours. Up till now, furlough has enabled them to not work at all or work flexibly as suits you. From the 1st of November, anyone on the job support scheme must work for a minimum of 1/3 of their normal hours. It's a really important point to remember. The qualifying point for this is slightly different from furlough, which you'll remember was anyone who'd been on your payroll back in March. Now, anyone who was on your payroll from the 23rd of September, where you filed an RTI return from the 23rd of September, will qualify for this new scheme. They have to work 1/3 of hours, which you will pay normally at their full pay. For the hours that they don't work, the payment to the worker will then be part funded by you and part funded by the government, and the employee will take a reduction in pay for those unworked hours as well. So essentially the government is going to finance 1/3 of it, you will finance 1/3 of it, and the employee will finance 1/3 of it. And it's also worth mentioning that you as the employer will be responsible for any national insurance or pension contributions, just as we've seen in the last couple of months of the flexible furlough scheme. The other big thing that really needs some consideration as we move into the new scheme is cash flow. The support from the government up till now, many employers have been really appreciative of how quickly the payments have been made. Anyone using furlough has probably received their claim on or before the date they run their payroll, so it hasn't actually presented a cash flow shock to you. One of the big differences as we move into this new scheme is you cannot make the claim for your job support scheme payments until you have run and paid your payroll. So actually the cash flow burden is going to fall on you as the employer. That's worth some consideration on what impact that's going to have on your business before we move forward. The other thing worth mentioning is about redundancy. For those of you that have been struggling through these past few months, as many of us have, you'll probably know by now that you could make redundancies whilst people are on furlough. And one of the benefits that has been used by a wide number of employers is the notice period of the redundancy can be taken during the furlough period. You need to top that up and pay the final, as it were, 20%, take it up to 100% pay yourself, but the government's furlough claims can count as that notice period. One of the very big differences is as we move into the job support scheme, somebody on the job support scheme cannot be made redundant whilst they're on the scheme. What that means is you're going to have to take them off the scheme to serve them a redundancy notice, and their notice period will then have to be paid in full entirely by you as the employer. So that's a big change that's worthy of some thought. I just thought I'd share those couple of key points with you. If you want any more advice or support on how to transition to the job support scheme, do get in touch and we'll do our very best to help. And I hope that short information video is useful to you. Thanks for watching.